Human population has increased exponentially at a rate never experienced before in history. Because of this growth, land, food, water, energy, and other resources have increased in demand, and as the human species continues to grow, more and more species and their habitats die out. The current mass extinction is different from all the other in that it is driven by a single species rather than a planetary or galactic physical process. The first wave of extinctions targeted large land animals hunted by hunter-gatherers, when the discovery of agriculture caused the population to surge and a need to plow wildlife habitats, divert streams, and maintain large herds of domestic cattle. A second larger wave began 10,000 years ago. The third and most significant wave commenced in the early 1800s with the harnessing of fossil fuels. With enormous cheap energy at its disposal, the human population has grown rapidly from 1 billion people in 1800 to over 7 billion people today. There has never been any other population of a large vertebrate animal in the history of the planet that has grown so fast, so much, or with such detrimental ramifications to its fellow inhabitants. Between now and 2050, more than half of all population growth is forecasted to transpire in Africa, with Nigeria in the lead, which will manifest huge consequences for African wildlife. Extinction is the natural order of most of the life on Earth, and of all the species which have ever existed, 99.9% of them are now extinct. However, the current extinction rates are as much as 40 to 100 times the normal rate for extinction. Under the categorization by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, species categorized as threatened with extinction proceed from being classified as vulnerable to endangered to critically endangered before meeting their downfall as extinct in the wild or entirely extinct on Earth. The causes of biocide are human-induced contaminants which work simultaneously to destroy life. This includes pollutants and pesticides that weaken immunity and make plants and animals more susceptible to microbial and fungal infections, human-triggered climate change, habitat loss from agriculture and urban sprawl, invasions of exotic species introduced by humans, illegal and legal wildlife trade, animal exploitation, light pollution, and man-made borders. What is Canada doing to help species at risk? In 1992, Canada was the first party to sign the Convention on Biological Diversity, a legally binding international treaty. In conjunction, Canada has developed the National Accord for the Protection of Species at Risk Act, otherwise referred to as SARA. It is a cooperative agreement between the federal, provincial, and territorial governments, which provides the legal framework needed to accomplish federal commitments under the Accord. The goal is to protect and recover native species, subspecies, and distinct populations at risk in Canada. SARA is working to do this by sharing knowledge among conservation organizations on successful practices, reintroducing endangered species into their native habitats, creating programs to help conserve habitat for endangered species, and researching into the causes of species decline and the best methods to ensure recovery.